Environments. Early environments. The indoor and outdoor environment plays an important role in the development of babies and young children from their earliest experiences. Even before birth, the quality of the environment impacts significantly on the fetus's development within the womb.
We now realise that if we're interested in the best outcome for our children, we mustn't just think about how we treat them from when they're born, but what happens in the womb. Research over the last 10 years has really shown that how the baby develops in the womb has a big effect on their health for the rest of their life. And this is true for the physical health. We know that babies that are born smaller at birth are more likely to have vulnerability to cardiovascular disease. But we also know that there's a big effect on neurodevelopment. The emotional state of the mother while she's pregnant affects how the baby's brain develops in the womb. There's research showing that if the mother is more stressed, more anxious, her fetus develops in a way that makes the later child more likely to suffer from anxiety or depression themselves, more likely to have attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, more likely to have conduct disorder, more likely to have cognitive problems. A whole range of different problems that the child will be more at risk from if the mother is stressed while she's pregnant.
From birth, the environment widens to include everything to do with children's surroundings, both indoors and outdoors, including the significant adults who care for them. Children learn from and adapt to their environment as they build a sense of self from the attitudes and values of the people around them. Adults who are affectionate, interested, reliable and responsive will help babies and young children develop a sense of trust and positive self-image. Babies look for both verbal and non-verbal messages that communicate respect, value and love. These important messages can be demonstrated by staff in many ways, such as ensuring that children are always greeted with a warm welcome upon arrival at the early years setting.
A welcoming ethos is absolutely fundamental in every early years establishment, because parents and carers, any other users that use the building, have to feel that from the first time that they have any contact with the building that they are welcomed, there's a consistency in how people engage with them, and that they need to be able to go away from that first impression thinking that was a good place for me to be.
Staff can create a positive ethos within a safe, welcoming and nurturing environment by ensuring that there is a high level of involvement and overall sense of belonging for children and families, responding to children's needs and preferences, respecting and valuing children's interests. A well-planned and sensitively thought-out environment will help to foster and promote a positive sense of self and well-being in babies and young children.
The indoor environment within Shotts Nursery Centre requires to be mirrored home from home. Okay, we can't have an environment that doesn't make the child feel safe, doesn't make the child feel secure. The environment needs to be warm. It needs to be soft furnishings, soft lighting. It can't be one of an environment where there is lots of noise, lots of bright lights, because the children will then become frazzled in their own little world. So coming into the environment within Shotts Nursery Centre where the environment is calm, is secure, it gives the child the optimum time to spend quietly to explore the environment through the careful and skillful staff-child interaction, but also the timely intervention for that staff member to ensure that yes, it's okay to spend as long as or as little as with a particular resource. So the environment has to be one that's set for the child's own level, own development, and as you can see within the Shotts Nursery Centre, everything is curated with the child in mind from that very young child.
Effective planning and organisation of spaces is a key and challenging role for staff teams. When planning for positive environments, staff should consider being creative with natural materials, light and other resources to achieve an atmosphere of intimacy or a sense of challenge or wonder. Reflecting some aspects of babies' and young children's homes, communities and cultures. Providing opportunities for babies and young children to use all of their senses in a variety of ways. Maintaining a degree of consistency in relation to the layout of the physical environment, as well as planning for change where appropriate. Environments and resources. Children learn through exploring with their senses, for example, to investigate shape, taste and texture. They enjoy playing with real-life resources, such as real fruit, which they can taste, smell or feel, as this offers a holistic sensory experience with rich language opportunities. The resources available for use both indoors and out should present stimulation and opportunities for children to explore and be active. Children benefit immensely from having access to a wide selection of multi-sensory and natural resources, which capitalise on their sense of curiosity and creativity. Resources should also be selected according to a wide range of factors, including, for example, the changing needs and interests of individuals and groups of children, the time of year and weather conditions, to name but a few. Children will gain the most benefit from the resources when staff teams invest time and effort to develop careful and imaginative approaches around how resources are presented and organised.
Practically managing the resources in the setting is very, very important, particularly in the baby room, because we have a wide age range of children. Through observations, speaking with mum, dads, grandparents, carers, we get to know the families, get to know the likes and dislikes of the children, and then that way we can plan our resources accordingly. In the mornings we have a baby 6 months up to children who are almost 2 years old, so we have to have resources suitable for every stage of development. All the resources are left in easy reach of the children, that they can go and get whatever they want, whatever their particular interest is for that day. And also, if the child expresses a particular interest, if mum or gran or whoever says, oh, we've been to the play park or we've been to the zoo or things like that, well, we can bring out resources that the children can relate to having been to the zoo. Well, we can bring out animals and such like. For the little children, for the babies, we have our treasure basket that the baby can sit at the treasure basket and go through all the resources in the treasure basket. For the children who are attempting to crawl, we have the resources at a level where they can see them, they're attracted to them, and they can crawl over and play with whichever resources they like. Staff interaction is equally important in the playroom, and also it's quite important too, I think, for staff to know when to interact, because sometimes if the children are perfectly happy playing with whatever they're playing with, and staff might spoil it, spoil the enjoyment, spoil the learning experience by interacting and saying, oh, look at this, oh, come on, see this, and distracting the child away from what they're doing. I think that's very important, to know when to interact and when to hold back.
By ensuring that resources are both accessible and available to even the youngest children, staff create natural opportunities for independence, decision-making and choice. The outdoor environment. Being outdoors has a positive impact on mental, emotional, physical and social well-being. The outdoors, which refers to both the immediate environment attached to the setting, the local community and beyond, can provide opportunities for participating in new, challenging and healthy experiences.
We plan for our outdoors the same way we would plan for our indoors. All curricular areas are covered outside. We have a very much a sensory feel outside because our babies like to touch and they like to feel, so everything is at their level. There's lots of sound, like lots of sight, lots of smells. For example, outside we have the same heuristic resources as we have indoors. We have our pegs, our corks, our pebbles, lots of tins for posting, transporting. Whatever the children's interests are what's outside, as well as the sensory and all the natural resources that we have. They like to run and climb. There's lots of small benches outside and things for them to jump off.
When making provision for outdoor experiences, staff can enhance the outdoor area by ensuring a range of resources such as natural materials, musical instruments, dressing up clothes, tents, to name but a few. Maximise opportunities for literacy and numeracy development. Manage risk effectively by balancing the risks and benefits of outdoor learning experiences. Take full advantage of the benefits offered by the wider environment in respect of real-life living and learning. Discuss how well you use the space you have available within your setting, both indoors and out. Plan ways in which this space could be organised more effectively. You may wish to think about, for example, how welcoming your environment is, how much it invites creativity and inquiry in children and staff.